Phoenix's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Phoenix's turn to pick.
Earth Spirit.
Dire team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Hello guys, we're back again. We play Season 3, kicking off again with SEA Group Stage. We've got one best of one from SEA, and then we've got a long break until we have one best of one from EU West, and we kick ourselves straight into the Americas games after that. It's a pretty light day for SEA, oh my goodness, my brain is melting. I'm just looking at the schedule and thinking, oh, we originally had like 4 best of ones, but there's been a little bit of a shuffle with the schedule. So we've got MVP against Mineski coming up now. Who's the next one? Samurai Champloo is going to be playing later on tonight in many hours up against Cookies. But for now, we'll take a look at the draft, see how things are progressing, and keep ourselves locked into this game. And the OD picked up first for Mineski, and Earth Spirit for Phoenix. I can welcome my co-caster, Heen. We've seen lots of interesting drafts recently, and this is no different.
Yeah, seeing as how Mineski and Phoenix have a long history, the bans and draft are going to be like pretty meta between the teams. You already see the bans are not conventional by any means. Weaver ban probably in response to Mineski's recent win against Trust. They used Weaver twice in their most recent series, and the Void and Bounty bans are kind of like, they're unconventional, but if you've been watching Phoenix, so you know Void, Borev plays a mean Void, and Febby is long known for his bounty hunter. There's a lot of strong heroes left in the pool, and we already see the OD picked up for Mineski and Invoker for Phoenix, so the mid heroes are kind of like, they're set for now, I think.
Reserve time.
VP with the Invoker for QO as well. Yeah, I fully agree with you. These are definitely team-based bans rather than the kind of meta bans we see of Chen usually in the early stages, but Chen and Enchantress both going to get taken out by either of the teams at this point. Death Prophet has just kind of been ignored. No one's touching the DP, instead opting for the OD and Invoker. I actually find it kind of interesting that Phoenix pick Invoker into Outlaw Devourer, but we have seen people utilize the Forge Spirits reasonably well, getting last hits and kind of trading evenly on that lane. I don't even know if it's OD favored anymore, when, like, originally the first week or so, OD were just crushing everything, but of course people are kind of figuring ways around it.
I think with the synergy from Earth Spirit rolling in, Cold Snap and Earth Spirit rolling, what is it called? It's rolling Boulder into OD if it hits, and you can do a lot of damage against the OD. And the Arcane Orb still two-shots the Forge Spirit, so like by himself, Invoker probably won't be able to do that much damage through Forge Spirits unless he micros it extremely well. But yeah, I think like by that logic, most heroes not want to play against OD. It's kind of like when you see a Viper, like the opponent picks a Viper. It's not like you can't just like send no one to the mid lane. Nobody enjoys playing against Viper. Kind of the similar logic for OD, but you just have to deal with it, I guess.
Turn to pick.
To deal with it. That's something you gotta do. Mineski for off lane. I've got Slard off for Jesse Vash, it looks like, and I'm kind of assuming that's the way it's going. With Cass standing in for Rio while I've heard he's ill and taking a little bit of a break off things. So Cass is going to be playing that Witch Doctor more like than not, is what he's been picking up recently. Dr. Chen have been his kind of two go-to heroes. Jesse Vash is playing off lane, while
Dire
Raging
team
Potato and
pick.
Jules have been switching between safe lane and support between the two of them. QQ has been stuck in that mid lane. We'll find what they're up to, but MVP Phoenix, they've been kind of solid in their role attribution for the past long time, honestly. QO mid, Febby in that kind of roaming support role. When they pick Earth Spirit, that's kind of Dubu's hero, but MP and Forever, the safe lane and off lane, is actually going for a Darkseer, which is a hero that's been ignored a lot recently.
10 seconds
With
remaining.
the Iron Talon coming out, with the fact that Jungle Camp is off to the side, heroes like
5
Beastmaster,
seconds
Nyx Assassin,
remaining.
Lone Druid is the key one I think we have to point out here. Why would you go Darkseer
time.
instead of Lone Druid in this game?
I think it's maybe they're setting up for a wombo combo. I think they have 2 out of 3 ingredients right now. I think when I think of Darkseer, the 3 ingredients are like the vacuum, right? Get them all in nice, cozy spot. Then you have Invoker for the damage, the obvious Meteor into
Phoenix's
Deafening Blast.
turn
But
to
now
pick.
what they need is like some kind of like stun, like AoE stun. Sven, exactly.
Dire
So,
team ban.
when you look at a wombo combo through a Darkseer, you need the vacuum, a damage source, and a stun source, and now they have the Sven. And if you look back to TI5 during the qualifiers, they often use the Darkseer Sven combo, and this combination
10
is
seconds
extremely scary.
remaining.
It doesn't matter if you're slightly behind in the game in terms of net worth. If you ever
5
get a
seconds
combo off where
remaining.
you have a vacuum into like a triple stun, then like a Sven's gonna rip through you. His
Reserve
cleave is gonna
time.
ignore armor, and I think that's what they were looking for. This is something they must have practiced, and the Sven. I think I've seen MP play a lot of Sven, and Lone Druid, as you mentioned, wouldn't have the best synergy with Sven.
Phoenix's turn to ban.
It's a strong hero by himself, but doesn't really bring a lot to the table that they can offer something to each other.
The Oracle's taken out by Mineski, don't want to be given that free reign for Sven with False Promise and all the heals that Oracle
10
brings to the
seconds
table.
remaining.
Mineski, what do they need now? It looks like they need a safe lane carry.
5 seconds remaining.
No, it's possible Slardar heads to the safe lane, but it's much more likely that that will be a
Reserve
Jesse
time.
Bash hero for the off lane, and the Morphling will be the ban
Dire
out here.
team pick.
What options are there out there? There's the Juggernaut, actually, still available.
Juggernaut, bread and butter carry for most teams. Mineski, I think they're pretty comfortable with Juggernaut, even though like Juggernaut is not the hero that comes to mind when I think of Mineski. But I've seen them like fall back on the Juggernaut carry. Does pretty well against most lineups.
Jugger
10
and Gyro are
seconds
still both
remaining.
out there, and definitely both very stable, solid carries that
5
you can
seconds
just
remaining.
get along with a bit of farm. You can fight early if you want to, and they're just very adaptable, honestly. Dynamic
Reserve
carries that
time.
can both sit back, away if they really need to.
Yeah,
or
I
they
think
can-
a third BKB core for Mineski would be really strong. Like OD and Slaughter, 2 heroes already known for getting BKBs. And a third BKB hero would mean that the angles for Phoenix to take
10
team fights
seconds
is a lot
remaining.
harder. Invoker can't really do much against
5
BKB.
seconds
Same
remaining.
as Spirit and Darkseer, even though Sven
Drow Ranger.
can kind of like just cut through
Phoenix's turn
targets.
to pick.
We see a Drow Ranger.
I was literally about to ask what about Drow Ranger, but only because of the recent games we've had. Drow Ranger's been picked a lot, and I thought to myself, they could pick Drow Ranger, but they're against a Sven, they're against an Earth Spirit, and an Invoker. There's all these abilities to jump onto the Drow to kill her off before she gets that BKB, and I thought, it's not really going to work out, is it? What do you think the reasoning is behind picking Drow here,
10
even though you're
seconds
against all
remaining.
these heroes that can just obliterate her?
Well, they are on
5
Dire, so it's
seconds
going to make for
remaining.
some easy Roches, whereas Phoenix don't really have a good Roche lineup themselves.
Reserve time.
Like I mentioned, if Drow does manage to get a peak, it's going to be hard for Phoenix to just run down the Drow. It's going to be all on Sven catching Drow off guard. And like it has really nice synergy with Slaughter. So like Slaughter, we talked about it yesterday, I think, where Drow lineups sort of need a frontliner, and Slaughter can play that role. So Slaughter is really not the tanky kind of frontliner, but he has the mobility and the stun to go in and out and basically keep Drow alive. Nina pickup for, I'm assuming that's the 5 position. It might be a 5 positioner. Ubu's playing it. Ubu more known for his 5 role. But yeah, both sides going pretty aggressive. I don't see a way for Phoenix to play this lineup other than be aggressive with it. Early Sunstrike to scout.
Gonna see no TPs, nothing like that. Saw that Cast picked up a few obs and sentries. But it's just the regular old walk out of base here from Mineski. Well, a TP from Dubu will get him towards the mid lane and get a very early observer ward looking across onto that top rune spot. So across the
Febby
river.
started boots first, so it's like this is a poor Earth Spirit right now. No Venom Orb or no Step Shield.
Oh man. A little guy. A little guy.
It's gonna make a difference because with so many range heroes benefiting, the Earth Spirit wants to go on mid, but Odie has Drawera, and the Witch Doctor and Disruptor who might drop by mid or really expect a gank from the Earth Spirit are gonna have Drawera. So if he goes in, this spell has such a long cooldown early game that if
seconds to
it's like a few hits from tower possibly, there's a good chance he's gonna die.
Look at this, Mineski already sentry placed and very aggressive movement. But the writing on the wall, Dubu seems to know what's up. We've seen them already move across up onto that high ground towards the large camp, and
look at MP's item, double mango. Have you seen this?
I've seen single mangoes
The
before.
battle begins.
Well, a single mango on Sven just for, you know, extra stun, but double mango is kind of a pretty hefty expenditure, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen double mangoes since the Eternal Envy pioneered this build on a lot of carries.
Spirit gyro, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, double mango is a thing for like Nyx Assassin and stuff like that for the off lane. When we used to see
Febby. Went for the courier, but it wasn't enough.
he nearly had it. Rotation in from Jesse Vash, the off lane Slaughter. Sprinting himself across. Interesting move, but it's actually QQ that's being forced back. OD. Shoved out of lane. Interesting stuff, honestly. Forever's alone up at top. Darkseer up against the Disruptor, Witch Doctor, and the Drow Ranger. Very annoying. Well, I think to try and handle. It's a safe lane Sven that's just getting free rain down at his bot lane, while the Ports are keeping Jesse Vash's Slaughter well at bay.
Both offlaners are probably gonna have a hard time. The carries are definitely not the easiest to deal with. I think that a lot of the focus is gonna be on mid. Whether they can kill for each like the mid hero, like the Earth Spirit wants to kill the OD for Kyo, and Disruptor and Witch Doctor, after zoning out the Darkseer to a certain point, can probably leave the lane, at least one of them, and kind of deal with this annoyance Dubu's being for Cuckoo at mid.
I can't believe he's actually sat here mid. He's fully dual laning. Like, it's leeching a lot of experience from QO, but I guess if you're applying enough pressure to this OD, he's missing out on a hell of a lot of last hits. You know, 6 and 2 for the Invoker, 3 and 3 now for well, Devourer. Things aren't going particularly well, but you do still have Jules up at top, getting into that precision aura. Getting all of that lovely juicy damage out for these ranged heroes, especially your supports. If the Disruptor and Witch Doctor can efficiently roam across and get themselves into good positions to move towards mid, and already we're seeing Cast actually very nice little move there. Dragging the lane off, dragging the creep wave off the tier 1 tower so Jules can come in and hit it. Full control of creep equilibrium. So Darkseer, you know, he's sent back to the jungle. Forever's got nowhere to go.
I think the difference is that Mineski are spending 3 heroes to deal with this Darkseer and kind of keep the equilibrium, whereas on the bottom for Radiant, it's just Febby and Sven. Sven and Lina, probably one of the oldest safe lane dueling combos. Extremely scary.
Oh, the
even
kick.
after the Lina Sun Nug.
The roll in and the Forge Spirits are here. Cold Snap down and Cuckoo's dead. A good movement in.
Yeah, this kind of picker answers your question about why would you pick a into OD, I suppose.
The Forge Spirit's there and the Cold Snap. OD can't do anything. He used the Astral like aggressively to try and get last hits and stop QO from getting those creep kills. It's left him so open to the roll in from Dubu, who, you know, he's now level 3. Earth Spirit. I was kind of worried about the experience being leached out, but having a level 3 Earth Spirit now going in again. QQ has come back to lane and he's dead! He's got Astral to try and save himself here, but honestly, the Forge Spirit going to keep on hitting him. The final projectile up the cliff. QQ, he cannot Astral, but Jesse Vash is here to herd them back. Very
it's
nearly.
Almost the same as killing him, though. He just got back and he all his charges.
Empty
I'm
bottle.
not sure. Yeah, I don't think he can go for the 4-minute rune safely with that amount of HP. I think he's
dear.
deciding whether he wants to go back home or have someone TP or bottle charges.
Empty bottle, empty HP bar. He stole bad stuff. Dubu's going to take the top rune, it looks like, as QO just takes full control of this lane. You know, full control. Jesse Vash, he did rotate across from the south up towards the mid lane. So MP with Febby. It just feels like MVP have completely crushed and won 2 of these lanes. They don't really mind. We've seen multiple lanes. This is like a game plan for MVP that they've really been sort of honing for themselves. Is win safe lane and mid. Win MP and QO's lane hard. Forev always finds a way to come back to things, whether it's, you know, Iron Talon farming in the jungle, whether it's, you know, Darkseer just pressuring lanes and dipping back in for these Iron Shells onto neutral creeps. The fact that Forev very rarely dies in opportune inopportune moments. that sentence. He's just very good at keeping himself alive and just having that tick gold constantly flow through and get himself into these big items.
Part of is a greedy offlane. Like you've seen a lot of games where he's actually top of the CS charts and net worth as an offlaner. And depending on the game, we'll see games where MVP do prioritize Forev getting a good lane, but with Darkseer, its purpose of this hero is that so you can always have some kind of option. You can go to the jungle, which did get blocked, but otherwise he's creating a lot of noise in the safe lane of Dire, and he's just being a nuisance. But if he lives here, yep, TP.
Well, Jesse Vash is the one being gone on down the bottom lane. They're not going to have enough though.
He's keeping tabs on this. So he takes all that like spells, like so he Disruptor's mana pool's low. He knows that they're there. Or Jesse Vash.
Well, they had vision up on the high ground. A ward placed by Febby gave them enough vision for the Stormhammer. I didn't even think they'd be able to finish him off.
Look at MP's skill build too. I haven't seen this. 2-0-3.
I've seen this a couple of times.
I mean 2-3-0.
2-3-0, yeah. I've seen this a couple of times, like, oh, hang on a second, regen rune picked up there, Dubu. He can roll and kick on in, but he's not going to expend his mana on an unsure kill.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But yeah, if you have a lane that just has outright killing potential without the need for that war cry, you're not going to get harassed or pressured by anything. Just going for the second point in Stormhammer is pretty damn useful. And like you're saying, with the Sven plus Lina, they've got so much control and nuke damage that the Slaughter doesn't really stand a chance. You wouldn't even think that Sven plus Lina is, you know, a pushing lineup either. You wouldn't think that 6.5 minutes in they take a tier 1, but they have. It's been impressive down in this bot lane as they're actually roaming on mid. The kick comes through, it's gonna miss, but the roll will land. And with the Sunstrike and Cold Snap, QQ's gonna take a big burst of damage, cannot even Astral himself. MVP.
That's gonna be so frustrating. Some heroes that can't cast spells at all. Cold Snap.
Well, that's what you get for picking OD then. Peter found the counter, gank him over and over again. We've seen this up against, you know, Death Prophets, ODs, and a good kick from Dubu rolls in as well, and Cast doesn't have the cast to throw. MVP are just finding pick-up after pick-off from lane to lane. This is
Dubu,
rough.
you dirty Earth Spirit pitcher.
Earth Spirit against OD, which is the worst?
Based on this game, I think Earth Spirit. You know, you mentioned the DP during the drafting stage, why neither team really wants to, you know, commit to a DP. And I think one of the reasons is because, like, between the 3 heroes, the 2 we're seeing right now in DP, if he ever gets a game where he's under the same fate as this OD, basically dying and not having a good lane, then it's the hardest hero to recover for at mid. And Boker and OD, I'd say, are much better at recovering. OD kind of like, if he gets levels with a lot of Arcane Orb and like in team fights he can get stacks or Arcane Orb. It doesn't matter what kind of items he has. If he gets like plus 30 in stacks, then he can nuke and get like a double kill and like instantly he's back into the game. Whereas for DP it's kind of hard. For Invoker, he's having a fantastic game, but had he been the one who's been getting ganked, came back through, you know, farming the jungle, Midas, Sunstrikes.
Oh, right now, Hero with his Midas already. 8.5 minutes in, they're trying to go in onto the OD, but Cast is here, ready and waiting to turn this one around, and a TP in from Disruptor as well. They might try and glimpse Febby back into danger. Yeah, Connect Field is down, but a good kick across will start things off. The Sunstrike's off the mark, but Dubu is rolled in. Pretty sticky situation. The LSA catches a couple though. Cast, another cask is thrown out. But MVP, they retreat. Honestly, what looked like a pretty dangerous scenario. Jesse Vash is here. It's 4-man rotation into mid. Drow Ranger's the only one not joining in. MVP, they don't lose anyone. Well, Sven, what's he up to? Helm of the Dominator treads, and already stacking Ancients. Mineski knows this is going to be happening. They need to ward this up, get some vision across there. And it's going to be rough crossing the river, though, into this Invoker Earth Spirit, because you do not know where Dubu is.
I think at this point, the MVP are kind of content with how the laning stage basically ended, and Sven, Witch Doctor just blocked the Ancients, but MP's creep saw it, and I think it's sort of too late to pressure the Sven at this point. He already has everything he needs. He has a Quelling Blade, Power Treads, Dominator. He even had Vision of the Ancients, so insta D-ward right there. At like 10 minutes in, can you really stop this point from farming the Ancients? They don't really have Ancient stealing abilities.
Oh man, is Sven going to be able to kill this? The Sunstrike is big and the kick perfectly placed. MP will pop his God Strength to ensure that the kill is secured before the Astral comes through.
This is definitely not the type of lineup where you're going to be checking Rune solo.
Raging Potato, you have TP'd in. The Sven with God Strength is going to clear through all of them. It's 3 hits onto Cast, that's all he needs. One more final swipe of the sword. He's relatively slow, but the Sunstrike, interesting placement there from Kiro. But I guess you're looking for, you know, the double path across. Maybe you're trying to catch them on both angles. With Mineski, the Witch Doctor escapes.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Mineski in some trouble. I think they had to be the ones kind of getting Ben from like getting a trade-off. I think Ben's gonna get those ancient stacks no matter what, but they had to do something on their own to kind of get back into the game, like to get a Blink Dagger on Slaughter. He's not too far off. He already has 1600, 1700 gold. But basically they needed some kind of countermeasure of their own, which isn't fighting into the stacks, because I don't think they're going to win so easily against this farm Sven and the Invoker who's already having a good game.
They're going to
go for the Roche, yeah, something like this where they get something for themselves.
Oh, it's pinged out. Debbie's pinged it out. I think they know, but it's too quick. With the pure damage from the orbs of OD and that minus armor from applied damage, Sardar clears through it and gives the Drow Ranger the Aegis. I was just looking at the Earth Spirit though. He's reasonably leveled. Level 6, 5-roll Earth Spirit that's just been rolling around, very rarely farming. MP gonna clear through Ancients. He's got himself a Yasha. Interesting that he decided not to go for Blink in this game. I would have thought that against the Drow Ranger, being able to just jump onto that target, throw the stun, pop God Strength, and maybe clear her out, that a Blink Dagger would be the way to go. But S&Y is what he's going to be aiming towards.
It has to do with timing. I think with the Sven, you want to maximize your farming, and for him to get a Blink Dagger, it's obviously not a very good farming item. He's going to complete a Sanjin Yasha, and then go for a Blink Dagger, possibly like one more smaller item for a Blink Dagger. There's no reason to be ready to fight when it's clear that they don't want to take fights yet. Invoker still only has Midas. He doesn't really have the utility. It looks like he's going into a Yules.
Yeah, it's on its way.
And yeah, and like on top of that, Mineski got an Aegis, so it doesn't really seem too logical to get a Blink Dagger so you can jump the Drow who already has an Aegis. And if you don't win that fight, you're going to pay pretty big for that Blink Dagger. That wasn't all that necessary.
Mineski might be setting up the fight here. Jesse Vash has picked himself up a Blink, but oh dear. No, that's not how you set up for it. TP will come through from the OD. Are you going to really complete this? The stun from Sven clears up Cast, and QQ, luckily he's invis, able to keep himself out of harm's way. But Mineski just lose 2 straight off the bat. They got the tier 1 down at bottom lane, traded it for MVP pushing up top. But movements like that, they just don't help your cause at all. Jesse Vash's blink is going to be
for
difficult.
sure. I think Mineski, they had a choice between trading hits between the tier 2 or defending this, and they chose to defend, but it was like way too disorganized, and the Disruptor dying there, and Witch Doctor got flanked from the right.
OD's invis is about to wear off. I think QQ's dead. They're going to go for the kill for Jesse Vash first, but I have no idea what this OD was thinking.
I think he right now he didn't even realize his invis was it was expiring too.
That's a tilt. That's like you can feel it. You can feel it deep down in your bones. After that laning stage, he's 0-4 and 0. Drums are not even completed. I think Mineski are a little bit tilted here, but they've still got a decent wombo combo, you know? They've got that Disruptor ult, which they haven't used yet. They've got a good way of grabbing all of MVP. And there's always that moment, you know, when a team is super far ahead, they're thinking, we've got this, we've got items, we're doing really well. And then they walk into that combo once, and they get wiped, and then the game kind of resets itself. This time they get the Static Storm onto 2 big heroes, but Earthspirit has already
there's no follow-up between.
Blink aggressively forward. The Witch Doctor, the 3-man stun with the kick. Oh, I think it's all over. 13-0. They tried the combo. Aegis has dropped. Disruptor's dead. 5 are dead. Drowning is going to be the 6th as she dies. Guess what? Dead, 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 dead. Everybody is bloody well just bloody dead.
Self-destruction. That's all I have to say. I think even at the tier 2, defending that was going to be really risky. There were only 3-man and waiting for 2 people to revive, and this MVP had all the momentum. They had the creeps, they had the Forge Spirits, based on the fights we've seen before. It's really hard for Mineski. I think calling their team fight a wombo combo is slightly optimistic. The Disruptor's ult doesn't really do damage. It's good for early game pickoff and preventing it's like a counter-initiate tool, but to kind of like start to fight with the Thirst Storm without the Slardar there.
Without the OD there as well. I would have thought
but he was like way too. He just got picked off in jungle.
I would have thought that, you know, Static Storm, Kinetic Field, OD comes in, hits a couple of people, drops the Eclipse. Things would have looked okay for Mineski in that team fight, but OD just nowhere near in position. Because he doesn't have a Force Staff, a Blink, or any real mobility items. Well, to be honest, he doesn't have any items. Let's just be straight up and real about this. 10,000 net worth on your Invoker right now. Midas, the Yules, 2,000 gold, so Blink Dagger is pretty close. So if he wants to go for the Boots of Travel, it's up to him. There's the BOTs. So, you know, at this stage of the game, BOTs are going to be a little more effective. You're going to be split pushing lanes, you can Boots of Travel into a team fight if you need to. Whereas, wait a second. There's a Force Staff as well?
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
I think I saw him like earlier with the Midas and a Void Stone. Then he made the Void Stone into Yules and got a Force Staff for I don't know what. You can't Force Staff out of Kinetic Field, so
I guess you can before the walls go up.
Actually like solid, right?
Yeah. As he gets like half a second.
Yeah, this Boost of Travel, I think the read is that it's not a farming Boost of Travel, it's gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna keep you in your base Boost of Travel.
Oh look, he gets out of the Kinetic Field. Oh, can he escape this actually? What does he invoke? Ghost Walk. Ah, the sentry. Well played. Mineski. Get it going. 15-1. They've got one. Got a kill. How much gold was that actually? Holy shit, that was like... oh! That was almost a 2,500 net worth swing. Whew.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have to remember it's only 7 minutes into the game. It feels like it's 20-something minutes. That's why when I looked at the Drow, I realized that Drow is pretty farm. Like, she had that Sanjin Yasha and Lifesteal for 2-3 minutes now. And that's by no means like bad farm. But, I mean, the rest of his team is not having a good team. Be far away from BKB.
Dire's top tower is under
Really
attack.
needs this game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, MVP are up at top lane. They're shoving hard into this with the back into the stun. Raging Potatoes cleared up easily. Flies back into the game because MP has actually been caught here under the Death Ward, and that damage output from OD is pretty good, but he yules up. Save the Sven for now. MVP, a glimpse back of the Febby, but again, a good Force Staff. It's been utilized a couple of times now very well. The kick catches too, and with the Sven started to cleave, here's the combo from MVP, raining down fire from the sky. And Mineski, they buy back the OD, but 19-1. A score on the doors. MVP, they're cleaning up house.
Is under attack. Dire's structure.
And MVP's lineup is not that cooldown based, so I don't think they have to back either right now. Lina pretty much has full mana, full cooldown.
Alright, they can just link with Sven, catch someone again. There's the cast Witch Doctor, but LSA has already been used. Even with the kick of the Earth Spirit.
Oh my
barely
god,
misses out.
Thunderstorm. This is so bad for Mineski. I think realistically this is kind of... they have no ways to fight this anymore.
3-man crush from Jesse Vash, but QQ, this is a dieback for him. The Astral keeps him alive for a second, with a little bit of lag there, just one strike bang on his head, I think. I'm not sure. I'm lagging a little bit here. SEA servers are not doing me well. MP 4-stabbed away! QO keeps him alive. The damage output's not good enough. Jesse Vash blinks in aggressively, he's not going to catch anybody. 4M just turns and fights for the stun from Sven, and Raging Potato, he's looking for the glimpse or something, but he's gone as well. One by one, and GG's called as Mineski tapped out.
Is that Mineski's first loss?
Yes.
I think so, right?
They
were 8-0.
They are 8-0, but now 8-1. So MVP Phoenix. Let's run through it actually. Mineski 8-0 or 8-1 now. MVP Phoenix gonna be 6-3. TNC 5-4. Tarang 3-0. That's the top 4 of the groups there. But that is, you're right, Mineski's first loss of the WePlay group stage.
And it was a really convincing win for MVP too.